Hello everyone, Simon here with an advanced preview for you today. Oh yes. This is Arcade Spirits, The New Challengers, which is a visual novel being released by PQube in 2022. There is a demo that's coming out though on the 30th of March this year where you can play the entire first level of the game, and that's the gameplay that you're seeing in front of you. This is a sequel to Arcade Spirits that came out in 2019, but you don't need to have played Arcade Spirits to dive into Arcade Spirits The New Challengers. It's taking place in the same world and universe and timeline, but it's an entirely new set of characters, although if you've played the original you will spot some references, maybe even the odd cameo or two potentially in the full game itself. So why am I doing an advanced preview, which is highly unusual on my channel? Well, the reason is because Arcade Spirits went on to become one of my favourite visual novel experiences of the last few years. And the reason why is because as someone who is in their late 30s, don't tell everyone, I enjoy experiences that are steeped in gaming culture because that's what I've been weaned upon all my life. And in Arcade Spirits, you're in the future, but it's in a future where arcades still exist. And so it's got all of those, like, we've housed our Pac-Man and our jousts and all of like hard driving and things like that. And there's all these kind of references to different retro gaming experiences. And the idea is that each character that you interacted in there, you could become friends with, or you could potentially romance. And it didn't matter who you came as, everyone was fair game, which is grand. So you could choose your pronouns, your gender, your look, and then go into the experience and get lost in the story of trying to keep the arcade alive and well whilst making friends at the same time. Arcade Spirits The New Challengers has a slightly different twist on things whilst maintaining the same kind of 1987 but in the year 2099 feel, I guess is probably the best way to kind of clash it all together. There's 6 new characters for you to play with. They're all introduced right in the very beginning in this playable demo, and they all have a kind of personality trait and a gaming style that they like. So you've got Jinx, who likes racing games. You've got Loxley, who is like the knight in shining armor type thing. Grace is an actual programmer and likes RPGs, and they all have their own personality trait that goes along with it. And one of the best things that I liked about Arcade Spirits that carries over into the sequel is that you then get to answer back in different character traits yourself. So you can be kind, you can be kind of balanced and neutral, you can be quirky and off the wall, you can be feisty and gutsy, or you can be like what they call flexible, which means you're kind of non-committal to things. And depending on which you choose, you'll kind of gain more affection or friendliness with the different characters as you go along. Now, what seems to be much more at the focus of Arcade Spirits The New Challengers is that you have much more interaction with all of the different characters compared to what you had in the first one, where it seemed to be that each chapter kind of pulled in a character or two for you to kind of play with, and you could almost ignore some of the other characters and just focus in on the one that was like, I want to be friends, I want to date. Here, you're constantly, at least in this opening demo, which lasts for about 40 minutes for me as I was playing through, you are constantly put in situations where you have to choose, like you can interact with 4 of the 6 of them, or 6 of them, and then completely ignore something else. But when you choose one option, that might not impress some of the other people that you're talking to, and so you're always kind of vying for, do you want to be friends with lots of people? Do you really want to target just one of the people? But you're going to have to deal with the consequences of what happens elsewhere. I went through and played this demo several different times, and what I was really pleased with this is that you can genuinely have very different interactions with them, and your friendship kind of bars that you can see in the options really change depending on what you do, and therefore the outcome of what happens goes on as well. Something that's completely new for Arcade Spirits The New Challengers is that this whole story is centred around warring esports teams from different arcades, you could say. And so not only do you get to completely build yourself in this new kind of character creator screen, which is got much more depth compared to the original game, you also get to build your rival and decide whether or not you're going to be like frenemies or absolutely hate each other's guts. And I went through the demo choosing each option, and it's completely different dialogue throughout. And I was really impressed at the fact that although kind of your stories will still go in parallel to each other, just the level of hatred is completely different. And that was quite satisfying to see, because often you kind of think, do my choices really matter? And with Arcade Spirits, the new challenges, at least in this demo, it certainly seems to be the case. Add on to that a new great Synthwave soundtrack and a new mini-game that is thrown in. I believe this mini-game will be skippable for some people who just want to enjoy the visual novel experience, but for me, I like to have those extra things that not necessarily pad out the experience, but provide breaks in between like clumps of story. So this new mini-game is called Fist of Discomfort 2, and it's like a strategy game where it's a bit like rock, paper, scissors, and you have to choose, depending on the people that you're facing and their personalities, whether you're going to attack, defend, do a special move, or like put out your ultimate move, which kind of trumps everyone for that specific turn-based move that you do. Everyone then moves together, and depending on like the rock, paper, scissors formation that you do, you then score points depending on that. It's not too deep. It's nice enough to kind of give you an extra pep in your step as you're going through the story. I don't think it will change everyone's world, but it's lovely to have it there as an extra. But yeah, I'm super excited for this and seeing where it goes. As always, as you can see, the graphics themselves look vibrant and colourful and in your face. I also like the fact that, unlike the first game, the character that you create seems to be on the screen quite a lot, which is good. I was always impressed that they managed to slot it, like your original character, into several like CG arts in the original, but here you're on screen for the vast majority of the time, and I like that. As you can see, my little chonky self wandering around on the screen. So yeah, the demo comes out on the 30th of March. If you're interested in visual novels, or you like referenced stories to culture of old, I did spot an option in here to say let's go and play a game of Joust. I recommend diving in and picking this up, especially for the demo. If you're not particularly hot on visual novels, this could be a really nice taster for you to get into it, because you're constantly thrown choices that you can absolutely see your outcomes of immediately, which is great. So you guys all take care, look out for the demo on the 30th if you're interested, and until next time, happy arcading! Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a completely independent media outlet supported by people like you. The goal is to create the best possible content that cultivates a richer indie scene for games as well as music and entertainment. To find out more and to get involved, visit patreon.com/higherplane network. Your support makes all the difference, and in return you'll gain access to bonus content and downloads. Thank you for watching.